Hey, have you ever wanted to use Gemini for your AI go, no, go analysis? We're going to jump into it today using Gemini to do our tender analysis to understand if we want to bid on this tender or not. I'm going to be using Gemini Flash 2.5 Pro, which is currently available on the paid Gemini plan. And we're going to be looking at a tender actually from the Australian government. So this one specifically is the ATO, the Australian Tax Office. And interestingly enough, this tender is for a coding assistant. So like an AI coding software, SaaS application. I use an AI coding SaaS application that I love to use every day, and that's Cursor. So we're going to look at Cursor, who have an enterprise plan, so making a pitch for the likes of the ATOs. And we're going to look at this publicly available ATO tender and whether Cursor should bid on it. So we're going to be using our AI go, no go analysis tool with Gemini. So let's jump into it and wait until the end, because the results of the AI go, no go analysis may actually surprise you. So first of all, I've got this prompt, and I'm going to leave a Google Doc or page where you can download this prompt and then customize it for your business down in the description below. But of course, you can customize to your heart's content. When we're prompting, it's really important to make it contextual to our business, which is where we have the inputs here. So I'm going to enter the Cursor URL. We have our persona. So effectively, that's telling the Gemini Flash 2.5 what kind of person is going to be. What skill set should it have? What context should it have when it answers this question? In this case, it's an expert RFP manager. Then we have our context and objective. So what are we asking the prompt effectively to do? What are the instructions? And then what should the output be? So from this case, I want a comprehensive document detailing against my red flags or amber flags or green flags around whether Cursor should bid on this tender or not. So I'm going to just copy and paste that prompt, chuck it in here. Then a really cool thing is I'm actually going to turn on deep research. So deep research is a tool readily available in a lot of your common LLMs, whether that's Gemini, as I'm showing here, ChatGPT, or Claude. Gemini's deep research can be used not only to search the web, but also search your documents. So with Gemini, you can upload up to 10 documents. And for this, I'm actually going to be using my own go, no go template. The go, no go template, again, I'll chuck a link in the description below where you can download that from our website at AutoRFP.ai/downloads. But effectively, this will have information, and this is my go, no go framework. What I'd recommend is downloading the template, changing the go, no go framework to make it more relevant for your business as needed. But it's a good starting point. For instance, this really focuses on RFP origins and relationship. It looks at resource requirements from our team, and then effectively it gives you a scoring matrix. And depending on that scoring matrix should tell me whether we should proceed or not as well. And it has all the different information. You can play around with your heart's content. It's just an Excel spreadsheet, but really useful for your go, no go decision framework. Alrighty, so jumping back, I've turned my deep research on, and now I'll upload my documents from Drive. So here are my tender documents. Just clicking Shift, I'm just going to select all the relevant ones. I can only upload a maximum of 10 documents. So I'm actually going to upload the original tender documents, not the addendums. We'll upload those later. So I'm going to insert those documents. And there's one other document I'm going to add from my Drive. And that actually is that go, no go decision template. So now I have my go, no go decision template. I've got my ATO documents for the tender. And I've got my prompt of what I want Gemini Flash 2.5 Pro to do for my AI go, no go analysis. Strap in. It's pretty cool what you're actually going to see here as well. all my tender documents and it's deep research is on. But before I submit this, I want to make sure here in the prompt that you can download below is I'm going to update this information. So tender documents, see attached. As you can see, I've attached them. And in terms of the company URL, well, here I just want to make sure I'm just going to enter Cursor here, because this is a AI coding assistant tender for the Australian Tax Office. And, in this example, we're being Cursor. I do not work at Cursor. I work at Auto RFP.ai. But for my example, I click Submit. And then what I really like about Gemini is it's going to provide a research plan for my AI go, no-go analysis. So with that plan, it'll provide a lot of details in terms of the steps it's going to take to try to answer my prompt. And then I can actually edit that plan if I'd like to. And here we have our plan from Gemini. So clicking through, I can go through and I can read this information. First, it's going to browse the Cursor docs and all the information regarding Cursor. It's going to go and analyze all the tender documents, and then it'll make its way through and start to answer my go, no-go questions. So what I recommend here again is edit the analysis template, the go, no-go decision template. Make that really relevant for your company and when you decide to bid or not to bid for tenders and RFPs. And then second is in this prompt, make sure you update what questions you're asking, if there's any specific questions like red flags you want. For Cursor, it might be, well, Cursor doesn't do on-premise hosting. So want to make sure that's flagged. And then there's the information, and then I can click Start Research, and Gemini Flash is going to start doing our AI go, no-go analysis. Alrighty, I've given it some time. It probably took, maybe about 10 minutes all up, which is what you expect for the deep research, especially for something that goes through 10 different tender documents, probably hundreds of pages, and uses the organizational context that we provided in the website of Cursor to then run a go, no-go analysis against that go, no-go decision template. So jumping into it, before I show kind of the output, what you have here for deep research is you can look at the thoughts. And so this kind of explains, or at least in some cases, LLMs do hallucinate their thoughts. But in this case, we can hopefully trust it and see that what it kind of looked to and what it did in completing that analysis. So it looked at the different websites. It then looked at the research uploaded files and then used that against the decision template to then try to provide an overall go, no-go as well. Here are the sources it used. Again, it can refer to those Google Drive documents I provided, which is really powerful for that Gemini has such a good integration. Obviously, probably no surprise with Google Drive. And then scrolling up, here is our analysis. So Gemini has provided an AI go, no-go analysis based off the ATO tender documents for an AI coding assistant, which we've mocked up as cursor.com to apply and say, should we bid on this? Where AI go, no-go is powerful is it does help with that cursory first look, whether this is worth its look, what information should I understand before diving into it further as well. Certification gaps, it goes through all the different information there. And effectively, it's going through that spreadsheet, the decision template that we have for our go, no-go analysis. You can see here strategic alignment, competitive landscape, commercial viability, legal and security. And it's now providing that information there as well. So it's kind of looked over those different clauses. Here, if that's true, the clause grants the ATO the right to terminate the contract at any time for any reason for its own convenience. That's you usually don't want that in your legal contracts with a 3-year +1 contract. That's pretty rude. But anyway, you can have a look at that and obviously make up your own mind as well for the different information. Then you have kind of the different scoring and weighting, and that's the powerful thing about a go, no-go decision template is to use it as take the emotion out of RFP response. You might have an enterprise AE, a salesperson run up to you and say, I have to bid on this RFP, we have to do it. And if you kind of boil it down to just numbers and what the scoring is, then you can make a more informed decision, hopefully, without the emotion of that as well. So it kind of does that scoring for me that I provide in the spreadsheet. And then that's why it's a no-go, is because the weighted score was 44.3%. And so told me to not go for it. I can actually then expand on this. And in the drive, there's actually 3 addendums. And so I'll say, please find attached, typing here, please find attached some addendums for the tender and use that to update the analysis. So, and that's a great thing. You have this chat, you might have Q&A later, you might have addendums, you might have mistakes in the original tender that are provided to you. And with that chat history, you can then come back to it and provide additional documents to then do the further analysis with the context of your original. Now, with LLMs, you will hit like a token limit for that. For instance, I believe Gemini's token limit is around 1 million for Gemini 2.5 Flash Pro. So it's a very fast model, but effectively it's going to start forgetting the original context that you provided. And so you need to be cautious of that. It's obviously good for initial, we think of this AI go, no go analysis, initial cursory first look. It's not going to be our full in-depth look. Effectively, it's saving me time of places I need to look at. And so on before we kind of get into it. So it's not going to replace the human to do the go, no go. It's just going to help the human do the go, no go as well. Hope that this video was really useful for you on how to do an AI go, no go analysis with Gemini Flash 2.5 Pro. You can use this for all your tendering needs. Make sure to still have the human in the loop. AI can hallucinate. And final, just that last privacy and security comment on making sure that the training is turned off. This is that you're using a paid subscription. Do not upload private RFPs into an LLM because that maybe then you send it into training data without, make sure that the training is turned off. You're paying for your subscription as well. And then, this one, my example is a public tender, but you can, of course, use it as well. So I'm Rob from Auto RFP. We're actually an AI RFP software. We actually have a go, no go analysis feature, really similar to what I showed you before, but a lot less of the legwork in our software that also uses Gemini Flash 2.5, which is why I had a lot of confidence that it could kind of handle the large documents that you would often find in tenders. So if you're interested, find us at AutoRFP.ai. You can book a demo and learn more about us as well. All right, thanks.